Welcome to Satsang. So this is about a month since our last Zoom meeting. Seems a long time since we met together through Zoom. Of course, I've been busy down in Spain, so many of you have spent 2 or 3 weeks with me in our new villa in Spain. It's not new in the sense that we've had it already for 5 years, but now we're in the process of buying the house and busy renovating the house. So it's kind of exciting moment. I came back from Spain on Wednesday, and on Friday, I drove down to the Basel Art Fair and had a very nice 4 days driving between Switzerland, France, and Germany. Amazing in Europe that you can go to 3 countries in an hour. So we had breakfast in France, lunch in Switzerland, and dinner in Germany. Okay, so I see. Good. A few more people showing up. And we have 4 or 5 people that I don't know. I'll get to meet you later, I hope. And now we're going to start with a meditation. So if you would sit comfortably, and we're going to close our eyes and look inside. As you look inside, bring your attention to whatever is the strongest thing that's happening now. This may be thoughts, feelings, body sensation, or it may just be silence. So whatever you find, bring your attention to the strongest thing, your awareness. Tonight we're having a discussion about awareness, and now we can practice awareness. Okay, now we're going to take another look. And once again, bring your attention to whatever is strongest. Can be thoughts, feelings, body sensation, silence. And once again, we're going to bring our awareness to whatever is the strongest. And this time we're going to give ourselves permission to drop deeper inside. Okay, so when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back into the Zoom. So perhaps somebody would like to share what happened in the meditation. Maybe Pravati would like to start.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Yeah. It was immediately silence and expansion today,
Right.
but it started already when I came here to the house, back to the house.
Right.
It was so amazing and so beautiful. So really
Right.
like coming home.
It's interesting because, as you know, I came back yesterday evening from my 4-day trip to the south, and we immediately had a circle. So I came in the house actually quite close to the beginning of the circle, and then I sat in the circle. And as you just described, I felt this enormous peace, tremendous peace. And I was even a little bit surprised that the energy of the circle was so strong. I'd forgotten because I'd been in this art fair, staying in a hotel, been in France and Germany and Switzerland, meeting people a bit here and there. And suddenly to come back and sit in the house in the circle was so beautiful, so touching.
And I must say here it's the same, I guess.
Sorry?
Here is the same. It's the same, even if it's only some people, but also the house has the energy.
Yeah, we've lived here for what, something like 16 years now. And so I can remember when I first came to the house, when it was completely empty right in the very beginning. And it already had a strong energy, even when it was empty and a bit damp because nobody had been living in it. It felt very energetic. And of course, over the years, many people have visited, many people have stayed for a longer time. And together, the community energy has, as you say, has filtered out around the whole house now. So every wall, every door, every floor is somehow holding this energy. And this makes it a very beautiful place to visit. So if any of our new guests tonight, I see we've got 4 or 5 new guests, I don't know. If you have time, come and visit our house. You're very welcome. You can stay here. We have a guest house and always welcome. Yeah. Because somehow at the end of all the talking, what we really want is to feel completely nourished in every moment. And there's no doubt the energy here in our house is of tremendous support for that. Okay, would somebody else like to share?
Hello. Yes,
Who's
Maha.
that?
Maha.
Ah, Maha.
Hi.
Maha's, okay, right, got you, yeah.
Yeah. It's so fascinating for me because since I was in Spain, the energy is so much higher inside me. And now when I started Zoom, it was like, woo, coming up. And when you came in, it was like 10 times more. And during the meditation, it was so intensive. And I felt like shaking. And Diane told me, you said in the second week in Spain, we should keep the energy inside. So I tried to keep it inside. And then it was like fainting or falling. It was very great. Yeah.
Right. I can see Diane is being Diane tonight. He probably won't say anything tonight because he's being Diane, you know, he's enjoying his new name, you know. Diane, by the way, for other people means meditation. So this is a new name I gave. He was called Vishnu before, but this was a little bit too much for him. And now he's been demoted to Diane, which is more comfortable. So how is your new meditation class going on? You've done the posters?
Yeah. I did the email. I wrote an email to all my friends and colleagues and people I know. And we did some posting on Facebook and Instagram.
Great.
Yeah. And we will start tomorrow.
Tomorrow, great,
Yeah.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me know. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, very nice. Somebody else like to come through? Perhaps one of the new people? How about Heather? Would you like to say a few words? Can you open up Heather?
I don't know what to say. I'm going through some emotional stuff.
Can you bring her on the screen, Owen?
Yeah, can you see her now? Heather, can you move closer to the microphone? We can't hear you so well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is that better?
Can you bring her up big on the screen, Owen? Because I haven't met her before. Oh, they're okay, great. Okay, you sound quite English. Are you English?
I am.
Okay, I'm also English, but I'm a kind of foreign Englishman because I haven't lived in England for a very long time.
Oh, the same for me.
Where are you sitting now?
I'm in Spain at the moment.
Oh, right. Okay, and whereabouts where in Spain?
On the south coast.
South coast, right, near Malaga.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was there some years ago. It's very nice. Yeah. Well, the whole of Spain is.
Yes, it's a beautiful place. I'm coming to your to one of your workshops next month.
One of the weekends. We're past the weekend, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
In November.
So I'll see you then. Yeah, I'll be there that weekend.
Yes.
And we've been doing about 2 of those a year, and there's always quite a few people, and we have a nice time. You'll find it's a very beautiful place, and usually it's very silent weekend, very silent. Nice.
I've done 2 silent retreats with Muji.
Oh, good, yeah.
Muji, so I'm used to that.
Yeah. Right, good, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, good, okay, yeah. We know each other, Muji and I. We met about 25 years ago in Lucknow with our master Papaji.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, he came to my house for dinner one night. Yeah. Good, okay. So perhaps somebody else would like to come through. Perhaps one of our other Tobias, where is he? He's up in the corner there. Okay. Have you got him open?
So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you and see you. Yeah. So how was the meditation for you?
I have felt a strong energy, like it was like the same like yesterday. It is crazy because it is you're sitting there and I'm sitting here, and I just see you on the screen. But
right. Yeah, this is one of the great discoveries. I have to thank the virus to discover how intense these Zoom meetings can be. Many people experience very strong energy, as you're just describing, and that makes these meetings very lovely, because even though we could be many countries apart, like the last speaker was saying she's in the south of Spain, it's a long way away, I'm sitting in the middle of Germany, and yet we can feel this intense energy connection.
yes.
And this is very beautiful. Yeah, very beautiful.
That's nice.
Good.
Yes, and I feel something on my heart. It's like, I don't know, it's like sadness, but it's more like more energy, because here in this house is so much love, and I don't know what this could be. So
Well, sometimes, you know, in this strong energy field, which you're calling love, things come up, you know, whatever somehow maybe needs to be seen or needs to be resolved inside us somehow kind of comes up. So you say you feel something on your heart. Maybe you can imagine it a bit like a cloud, sort of energy cloud. And you say you feel a bit sad there. So maybe you're getting in touch with some situation in the past. And when you bring your attention there, you may find it will melt away, just dissolve. And if it doesn't dissolve, then maybe you will get some indication of what it's about. And then you can do some detective work to discover what it could be. Good, good. Okay. I see we've got somebody who I haven't met before, Andreas Kleinwaschter. I can't pronounce your name, but you're probably somewhere in Germany, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not far away. I'm in Cologne actually, so that's close to. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you and see you.
I'm in Cologne. It's not far away though. Yeah.
Right, you're sitting in a garden. You have a garden inside your apartment.
Yeah, that was cheap and makes a nice atmosphere in the flat.
Right, right. Okay. And I think I haven't met you before, have I?
No, we never met. I had plans to come to the Open Sky House in what's it, Hitdorf, even before COVID, but then, you know, all the COVID stuff happened, and I realized you hold Zoom meetings, and but yeah, why not? I could feel the energy. I was surprised. I thought I feel nothing over Zoom, but yeah.
Well, let's see how it goes in the meeting, and if you feel a connection, you're always welcome just to come by here anytime. You'll always get a lunch or a dinner or a cup of tea or something.
I might just
nice.
do that.
Okay, nice to meet you. And then we have Andre. Would you like to come through?
Yes, hi.
Hello.
Yes, it was really, yeah.
Have we met?
No, I don't know. We didn't met yet.
Okay.
I'm coming in November on the 10th.
Oh,
at the
okay.
retreat.
Oh, nice. And where are you sitting?
I'm in
Which
Germany.
country?
I'm in Munich, yeah.
Munich. Oh, good. Yeah, nice place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what happened in the meditation? Anything interesting happen?
Well, yeah, of course. I also felt the energy, and a very peaceful one, I would say, because I had some technical issues at the beginning, but then I could easily switch and just follow through the meditation. Although, yeah, the monkey mind was a bit hard to tame, because I was like literally answering to your question, what you were saying. That was really nice. But yeah, I was also aware it was a really nice meditation. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Anyway, very nice to meet you, and we'll see you. You say November you're coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Good. Okay. Somebody, I think I know everybody else. Anybody else like to come through? about Madhu? Madhu, would you like to come through? You've returned from your trip to America, or are you speaking to us from the USA? Can you get her up on the screen, Owen?
Можно Маду вывести на экран, Ом?
Yes, you can talk, Madhu.
Да, Маду, ты можешь говорить?
На американском.
On American language?
But she's back in Ukraine now, I guess, is she?
Ты же сейчас в Украине уже, кажется, да?
Да, я вернулась.
Yes, I came back.
And how did you find America?
И как тебе в Америке-то было? Well,
Было всего много.
well,
Очень
a lot
много
of
насыщенно.
everything. Very
Okay.
intensive. Very intensive, a lot of everything.
Okay. Good. Well, I'm coming tomorrow to Ukraine.
Ну что ж, завтра я в Украину приезжаю.
Busy packing my bags.
Вот уже вещи собираю, занят этим.
I'm getting ready to do some more smuggling, honey smuggling.
Я готовлюсь к новому витку криминального и контрабанды меда.
Yeah. We've finally discovered that the only way to get honey out of Ukraine is smuggling. We have to smuggle it, on our
Мы
plane journey.
обнаружили в конце концов, что лучший способ привезти мед из Украины — это контрабанда. Так надежнее и законнее.
Right.
Да,
So if we
я
get-
тоже так в Америку вожу.
Yes, I'm also smuggling to United States and out of them. That.
Right.
Ну, я
Okay.
проплакала медитацию.
I was crying through all the meditation.
Okay.
Просто слезы лились.
Just the tears, dropping tears.
Right. So you felt some strong energy, I guess.
Чувствовала, наверное, что-то сильное, раз такое плакала там.
Не могу сказать.
I cannot say.
Ну, до сих пор немного в таком состоянии, что просто хочется это прожить молча. Наверное,
Yeah.
соскучилась.
I don't know what is it. It's such a state that maybe I was missing. I don't know. I would like to go with, live it through.
Right. And whatever you're doing on Saturday, Madhu, try to do it on Friday so you come for the whole weekend.
Маду, что бы ты там не делала по субботам, старайся поделать это по пятницам, чтобы приехать на все выходные.
Much better to cry for 2 days than 1 day.
Гораздо лучше и полезнее проплакать 2 дня, чем 1.
You can cry for Saturday and then smile for Sunday.
Или же проплакать в субботу и улыбаться в воскресенье.
Я
Okay.
Ну что ж,
Anyway. See you soon.
Ну что ж, скоро увидимся. Скоро.
Okay. Is there anybody else like to come through, share what happened in the meditation, and then we'll move on a bit.
Есть ли кто-нибудь, кто...
Okay. So you probably saw on the email that tonight we are making awareness the topic. So I have a quote from Christian Murty. I'm sure most of you know J. Christian Murty. He was really, in the beginning of the last century, he was really a powerful man. traveling the world constantly, wanting people to wake up. And you may know that there was, in the 20th century, there was an organization called the Theosophical Society. And it was actually run by a Russian woman, Madame Blavatsky. Anyway, they had the idea that they would find the world teacher. And so they had their ways. I don't remember now how they did that, but they had their ways. And they found two brothers. I think they were living somewhere near Madras in the south of India. They were young teenagers. One became Krishnamurti, and the other brother, unsadly, died rather young. And so Krishnamurti was, as a teenager, he was educated to be the world teacher. And I think it was in Holland, they created a huge international meeting to proclaim Krishnamurti the world teacher when he was about 17 years old. And he got up at the meeting and said, no, thank you. He didn't want to be the world teacher. But actually, in another way, outside of that organization, he in fact did become the world teacher for many years. And from J. Krishnamurti, you could say the Osho Rajneesh kind of evolved out of that. And now, of course, we don't have maybe one such a strong voice. Although many people might find Ramana Maharshi, who's not in his body since, since what, 70 years, something like 70 years, 71 years. But still many people now in the West feel a deep connection to Ramana Maharshi. And of course, many people like myself, somebody was mentioning Muji earlier, we went and spent time with Papaji, who was a direct disciple of Ramana Maharshi. So somehow in this lineage of Ramana Maharshi, Papaji, there are many Western teachers now traveling and offering meetings. So it's kind of interesting phenomena. But certainly Krishnamurti, J. Krishnamurti, was an amazingly beautiful man, a beautiful human being. I was lucky enough to meet him. I went to one of his retreats in England in a place called Brockwood Park, because he had established a school, one school in England, one in India, and one in America. He had 3 schools, and he would travel between these 3 places. And of course, he would also visit other places. So he was very active and a really very beautiful human being, and also a very good speaker. And it was funny, I remember when I think about him now as I'm talking, I think of this man who, he was very humble. He used to sit on a simple chair. He didn't have any special throne. He sat on a simple chair and he would speak spontaneously. And then every so often he would stop and he'd look at the audience and he'd say something like, you are following the speaker, aren't you? Probably because he could see that actually people weren't following him. So he was very suspicious that people didn't really listen to him properly, didn't really hear what he was trying to say. So anyway, tonight I have this quote about awareness, and in many ways that was his central teaching, you can say. So I'm just going to read that. Awareness is not a commitment to something. Awareness is an observation, both outer and inner, in which direction has stopped. You are aware, but the thing of which you are aware is not encouraged or nourished. Awareness is not concentration on something. So we all had a taste of this in the meditation, because this meditation was exactly about awareness. So when we first start this kind of meditation, there is somebody, there's a meditator, there's somebody who is looking inside, somebody who is looking inside. So this is the kind of beginning of awareness. You are looking inside, or you're looking outside. So somebody is aware of this moment. Somebody is aware of this moment now. So if you're looking now at the screen, you can be aware in this moment that there's about 25 people who's looking at each other on the screen, and you are sitting looking at this screen. So you can be exactly aware of something like that. It may be that you've got very strong thoughts happening at the same time. So as you're looking at the screen, your awareness is also taken to those thoughts, for example. It may be that you've got a painful leg, and so maybe this pain is strong enough that as you look at the screen, your awareness goes to the pain in your leg, for example. Some people have back pain, spinal pain, could be your awareness goes to that spinal pain. So it's awareness in that context. Awareness is somehow meaning to look, to observe. So somebody is looking, somebody is observing. That's how it begins. And then as you continue to observe over some days, maybe some months, to do with your meditation, as you learn to deeply meditate and deeply be aware, you can come to something where the somebody who is being aware, that somebody simply disappears. It may be somebody experienced that tonight in the beginning. Parvati kind of expressed something similar to that. And so that is bringing us to what you could call pure awareness, when the somebody disappears. And this is what you can say all the spiritual work that you might be undertaking, whichever particular spiritual tradition you're following, it will bring you to this same place. It will bring you to your being. So the first step of coming to your being is to be aware, to observe whatever is happening inside you and outside you. And generally speaking, we find it quite easy to observe the outside, because this is our common experience as we're growing up, to always be observing on the outside. And when you get enough touch to start spiritual work, when you start meditating, then we switch from outside to inside. So we're looking inside, and we develop a strong awareness of what is inside. And of course, it's true. The truth is that what is outside is also inside. So as we meditate, as we become more aware, then we become much more aware that in a way there's no inside and there's no outside. It's all one thing. So in the beginning, we use the mind to become the witness of the outer and the inner. And then as we continue this, there's a moment which we can call self-realization. Self-realization. You can say we realize the self being our being. So this is the place we want to come to, self-realization. And the personal melts away, and leaves pure awareness or pure witnessing. There's a melting together of what is being witnessed with the one who is doing the witnessing. So this emerging. And so there's nothing you can do to actually create this merging, but if you keep in your life being aware, if you keep being aware, you will come certainly in some moments to this melting where there's no body being the witness anymore. There is just witnessing happening. And this is a very beautiful moment. It's hard to talk about it, but when you come there, you immediately know that you're there because suddenly you realize that the personal has disappeared. There's no person anymore. Not so easy, actually. Not so easy. And I give the example here of Osho Rajneesh. He used to tell the story that when he was a student, when he was around 20 years old, he used to wear wooden shoes. And he chose to wear these shoes because when he would walk around the university, his shoes would go tap, tap, tap on the stone floors of the university buildings. So this noise from his shoes, click, 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 as he walked around, would help him to develop this self-awareness. Because unfortunately, it's very easy to just become kind of robotic. And we're doing our life in a very robotic way. And there's not much presence and there's not much awareness. So we want to change that. And in the beginning, there needs to be a kind of conscious decision and then a conscious witnessing, which is, of course, the mind. The mind is doing it in the beginning. And this is where, for example, we're going to have a weekend soon of Vipassana meditation. Actually, we have next weekend here in our house in Hitov, we have a Vipassana weekend. And then a bit later, I think it's the beginning of November, middle of November, I'm coming to Spain and we're going to do it in Spain. And the advantage of these weekends is that we stay together in one room. So there can be maybe 12 or 15 people who are sitting for 2 days and 2 nights on we call it the island. We have an island. We have a mattress. We have different kinds of seats, and we stay blindfolded. So we're blindfolded for 2 nights and 2 days. And we just sit quietly alone on our island and we look. So this is an enormous exercise in self-awareness. And I would guess that the typical pattern from that weekend is that in the beginning, people have a lot of thoughts, feelings, maybe they have old stories coming up. And as the weekend progresses, there might well be a sudden moment when they realize, or maybe they realize a bit later, that there is nobody, that a complete melting has happened. Very common in that weekend that this melting happens because we're sitting alone for about 30 hours, 30 plus hours, I think it is. We bring you food, we take you to the toilet, and everything is done blindfolded. It sounds a bit intense and is a bit intense, but it's actually very, very lovely. Many people have found it very lovely because often happens is that over many hours, we come to some kind of resistance. We come to maybe an old story or some emotions inside us, which we can't really deal with. We can't really accept them. And then there becomes maybe a bit of a resistance. And maybe the feeling is I want to rip my mask off my face and run out of the room. never to be seen again. But that is exactly the moment just to stay there, just to stay in that moment. And many people then have a kind of breakthrough, you could say, where this strong resistance suddenly disappears. And then that can be a moment when the mind stops. The mind stops, the person disappears, and you find yourself just floating in this pure awareness. But there's not a you to be floating. You can say it just happens like that. This is often very, very beautiful. People get very touched. It can be a moment of transformation that happens to you because you're ready for it to happen. So this is something that actually happens. This nearly always happens to 1 or 2 people when we do these weekends. I think, well, yeah, I can't quite remember who that happened to in a Vipassana weekend, but yeah. Okay, so maybe somebody would like to respond about awareness. Perhaps somebody would like to share their own moment when they've had this feeling of awareness. Maybe I would ask Lakshmi to say something. Victoria. She was recently down in Spain.
Yeah, I've been in Spain and I'm a little bit sick now, but I and I hope I didn't found COVID because I made a little test and it was positive, and I hope I had to do another test yesterday in the evening. I'm waiting on the test on the Ergebnis, on the Ergebnis.
Right, on the result. You're waiting for the result.
Yeah.
Right.
Therefore, I'm not quite fit today. But you asked me if I had this point of awareness. I think is it the same to be in that wide space? Is it that feeling that I had? Yes.
Yeah, you came there in January, I think, at the retreat in January.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And since January, it's been there quite a lot, I think. Sometimes maybe you lose it, but
yes. But the silence inside of me is very. I'm very quick at that point. And after this retreat in Spain, although I came home very, very vulnerable, but the silence is inside of me, and it's accompanying me, and it's wonderful. And but it's the feeling inside of me is quite different to the other retreats before, because this time it's more. I don't know how I can say it. I feel very often touched about various things. Tears flow and I'm touched, but it's not bad. But it is like it is, I think, and maybe I I changed my skin, because last night I had a dream. I dreamt from very, very strong snakes. And I think there's something going on inside me, And
right.
This is my point of awareness in the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I think it's bound to be that you have strong things.
Yeah.
You've been, since January, there's a lot going on, and now you came to the retreat for 2
Yeah.
weeks, and that's bound to make you kind of vulnerable, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And of course, this situation where you're waiting for the test result also put some sort of pressure there. You know?
Yes, a little bit, but
you're
we'll
very
see.
healthy. You're a very healthy lady. So even if you've got the virus, I don't think you need to worry too much.
No, I don't worry.
Yeah.
I hope
several people in our community got it last year, and nobody. I mean, it wasn't really wasn't a big deal actually.
Yeah.
Really a big deal.
I don't worry. Yeah.
Okay, nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
No.
Somebody else? Who's that? Ah, okay. Korea.
Yes. Yeah, maybe it fits the topic. I feel more and more supported by existence in the daily life. Yeah, it's like just in daily life situations, I need something and it just comes. Yeah, I have this thought in my head, I need blah, blah. And then a few moments later, somebody says, I have this for you. So it's,
all right.
Yeah.
That's very beautiful when that starts happening, because you start to feel tremendously powerful.
Well, light, I would say. It's a bit like this weight of I have to do everything on my own. Yeah, this weight, disappears. So there's more lightness, and I'm actually not really sure if something has changed or if the awareness of these happenings has changed. Yeah, maybe I was always supported, but now there's more awareness about it. Well, I'm actually not so sure if really life is changing or just
Well, probably what you're saying now is true, that we're not usually so aware, but actually we're always supported. We're exactly taken to where we're supposed to be, and what is supposed to happen is also supposed to happen, So it's always really like that, but most people, unfortunately, don't have any real awareness about that. I think the thing that's changing at the moment could be that you're getting much more awareness about that. I mean, maybe if things are coming to you that you're kind of asking for, that's very nice. See if you can also get people to call you on the phone just when you were going to call them, because that often happens to me. I think, I must call somebody. And in that moment, exactly that moment, they called me. I remember there was a time I was editing one of the books a few years ago, and my ex-wife was in Australia and she was editing the book, or we were doing it together. And I remember one afternoon very clearly that I must call her. And in that moment, she called me all the way from Australia. So this is a tremendous confirmation about how things are working in a very different way to the way we have been told that things work. Yeah, we've been told that I am doing my life, but actually it's not true. But unfortunately, we are living in such a kind of robotic mode that it seems to be true. But I think even from this meeting tonight, there's been several people who expressed how they felt such a strong energy through the Zoom meeting. Maybe some people are still experiencing such a strong energy through the Zoom meeting. And how does that work when somebody might be completely far away in another country?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really not so clear for me what's happening there. It also feels like something has opened up in me, and I'm ready to receive. Yeah, like I'm ready to receive love. I'm ready to receive happiness. I'm ready to receive support. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
Right, right. Well, that's great. That's very good. And you'll probably find that all kind of mysterious things will happen to you more and more. You know? Like the other day when we were going south, we got to Heidelberg at lunchtime, and we decided to visit one shop because, as you know, we're developing the honey business. And outside that small shop, it was very crowded with cars everywhere in Heidelberg. But outside that shop, there was an empty space. So we arrived and parked the car, no problem at all. And maybe you can say, well, you know, it was just luck, you know, just good luck. But when that happens very often, you can begin to sense that you're being taken care of. Yeah. Good. Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Who else would like to share? Nadini, I didn't get to talk to you last night. Would you like to say something on this subject?
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Kann jemand übersetzen? My English is not so good.
Don't worry.
I can do.
Speak German and Turia will translate.
Okay. Also bei mir ist es so, dass ich auch sehr schnell in diesem Gefühl des Gewahrseins bin.
Ребята, русскоязычные, вы
I
меня
also
слышите?
have this,
Помогите головой, если
that I
слышите.
very quickly land in this feeling of awareness.
Aber als ich gestern bei euch war, das ist nochmal sehr, sehr intensiver geworden.
But yesterday, when I was in your house, it became even more intense.
Und es war absolut, oder es ist sehr still in meinem Kopf geworden, also mein Verstand.
It became very quiet in my head, in my mind.
Und es fühlt sich einfach super an.
And it just feels great.
The best, it's the best.
Das ist das Beste.
Better than ice cream, better than sex, better than everything.
Ja.
Besser als Eiscreme, Schokolade und Sex.
Ja. Auf jeden Fall. Ja, ich bin sehr, sehr dankbar dafür, dass ich euch getroffen habe oder dich.
I'm very grateful that I met the community, or better to say you.
Auch wenn ich vielleicht nicht so viel Zeit bei euch verbringen kann, wie ich würde. Also ich verbringe schon so viel Zeit bei euch, wie ich kann. Also
Even though I might like to spend more time with you, so right now I'm spending as much time as possible in your community.
Right. Well, I mean, this is a kind of common phenomena that, you know, you have a teacher or master, then some people get attracted. You know, they get attracted from a deep place inside them, from their being. They get attracted to this person. And then gradually there comes around that person what's called in India Sangha. So Sangha is a group of people who are, if you like, in an orbit around the master or the teacher. And then
Dini,
as that,
verstehst du ihn?
So,
go ahead.
Verstehst du ihn?
ja, bis
She
jetzt
doesn't need translation. She only needs translation for speaking.
Okay, so then you can imagine, you know, and then you have this group of people around the teacher or master in a kind of orbit. And then instead of, if you like, the energy depending on one person, there's a whole field of energy that is moving with those people. So it's very, very often in the traditional writings, spiritual writings, for example, somebody like the Buddha, he attracted people. He very strongly attracted people. And he would move in his day, he would walk, of course, in his day, 2,000 years ago. Unfortunately, they didn't have cars and trains and all that stuff. So he would have been walking through North India from village to village. And he was always accompanied by a crowd of people who were in some kind of deep connection. So, of course, it was a heart connection, but probably more than a heart connection, it was a connection in the being of the people. They all felt kind of one together. So this is then creates a sangha. It's like a group of people with a common connection, a sangha. And so when people now come to our house, they can easily feel this, whether I'm actually present in the house or I'm not present in the house. Maybe there's something a bit stronger when I'm having a meeting. But for example, in this Zoom meeting tonight, we have many people who are very connected to John David in the meeting. And several people described how they felt this strong energy through the Zoom. It's a little bit surprising even that it can work through this kind of mechanical situation. But it does, it works. And this is a very beautiful thing that we can use to our advantage, because in the early days, when we are still being aware, we're not yet come to the pure awareness, but we're being aware. So somebody is still there, being aware, observing, being the witness. It's very, very helpful to be supported by a group energy around. It's a big support. And that's why I can invite everybody, if they'd like to spend some time, come to our community. You see, because now that energy field is hanging in the building here. Everybody can get the benefit of that. I mean, the other thing I could say, Nadini, is that as you feel what I've just been talking about more strongly, you will naturally want to spend more time here.
Ja, also wenn ich mehr Zeit bei euch verbringe, dann ist es direkt so, dass ich am liebsten direkt einziehen würde, ehrlich gesagt. Und das ist auch für mich schwierig, weil ich dann immer innerlich in so einem Konflikt bin. Schnell.
Yes, what happens for me is when I spend more time with you, then there comes a wish up inside to move in. And this makes it, actually creates a conflict inside of me.
It doesn't need to. You can just move in and bring your kids too. It will all be fine.
Das braucht kein Konflikt sein. Du könntest einfach einziehen und deine Kinder mitbringen.
The real conflict, of course, is that you have already got a kind of habit, how you live your life. There's a kind of habit. And so to change that, of course, is not easy, and it makes for a kind of vulnerability.
Ja, ich mag ja auch meine Familie. Ich bin ja jetzt nicht unglücklich, wenn ich hier mit meiner Familie zusammen bin.
Well, I also like my family. It's not like I'm unhappy when I'm here with my family.
Right, right. Well, you can bring them too, you know, no problem.
Kannst alle mitbringen.
Ja, meine Kinder sind leider nicht mehr so jung, sonst hätte ich das schon längst gemacht, aber die lassen sich nicht einfach so mitnehmen. Die sind schon stark pubertär mittlerweile und da leider nicht so offen. Aber vielleicht kommen sie ja mal mit.
Yeah, my children are not that small, so it's they have their own wantings and their own opinions, and they are not so open, unfortunately.
Well, that can also change. You didn't bring them to the house yet.
Ich versuche es ja schon immer, aber sie müssen natürlich auch wollen. Ich kann sie ja nicht hier zu euch. Es wird bestimmt irgendwann mal eine Gelegenheit geben, denke ich.
Yeah, I already tried to convince them. I can't really force them.
You just put them in the car and say, we're going to have a picnic today, and then just drive here, and you can sit in the garden, have a picnic, and then show them around and so on. Don't make a big issue from it.
Ja.
Anyway, as I was saying just before, this all goes by itself, you know? It will go by itself.
Mhm. Ja.
So anyway, welcome to come more often.
Ja.
Okay, nice talking with you.
Thank you.
Your face seems to be changing. That's one of the beautiful things about coming to your own essence that probably is not talked about very much, but very often when people come to their own essence, there's a kind of radiance that happens. It's like, I used to talk about it as divine cosmetic. And people would become very expanded, very smiling, relaxed. And this would just come out of being in the place we're talking about tonight. It's tremendously nourishing to be in this pure awareness. Somebody else like to share? Kiran, you're usually good for a bit of sharing.
Yes. So sometimes this awareness just comes very strongly without that I'm doing something.
Right.
And then it gets very quiet. But the normal day is that I try to remember, and then there is a kind of awareness, and that quickly goes away because something happens that takes my attention. And then I remember, yes, and this goes, it depends what is going on inside and also outside. If there's something very demanding or some strong feeling, then the awareness goes, it's not there. But usually it's there much more. And this is really, affects also the everyday life. This affects, for example, awareness of fear, of not of a big fear, but of small things where I don't like, so I'm a bit afraid. And when I'm aware of this is the fear is not so much taking me anymore. Yeah, this is very Nice and interesting.
Right, right. Yeah, because when what you're saying is about being not attached, really. You're not so much attached to this guy called Kiran as you used to be. You used to be very attached to him. He was the center of your movie every day. He was the star of your film. And now he's not so much the star anymore, you know. So in one way, that's a bit strange, a bit vulnerable, but also it's so lovely that you don't mind it.
Yeah, life is more, what you say, more intense, more alive. Yeah, and this is sometimes vulnerable and sometimes very strong in a way. But this is this feels just the right thing. Yeah, to get to have more power, and sometimes not knowing what does it lead, where does it lead to, and this thing, am I right and am I wrong, is not so strong anymore. Yeah, so I can just do something, and it's not so much influencing me as before. Like I'm afraid of most with other people, with you, for example, or with other people. Am I in time? Am I wrong? Is that all right? And something, yeah. And because what is blocking, yeah, is fear. It's kind of fear, and it's good to see this. The small bits of fear that always, dominate the life. Yeah. That prevent you to do something your intuition wants to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, often I come back to my girls as the teacher. You know, so we were down in. Where were we? We were just north of Basel, visiting an art gallery on Sunday, and we spent some hours in the art gallery, and we had a lovely lunch. And then the kids were getting a bit boring, and we discovered that 5 minutes walk in this village, there was a kids museum, a toy museum, which was rather surprising to find it in this small village. And so we decided to walk there. So we walked down to this toy museum, and but it turned out a little bit late to get into the museum. So we went into the back of the museum where they had a huge kids play area. And part of it was ropes, you know, kind of a bit like the one we built in the garden now. There was ropes going up, quite high up. And then at the top of these ropes, there was a tube so you could slide down. And it looked a bit scary to me. And I wasn't sure if the girls would do it, you know. And sure enough, Naomi didn't do it. And Amelia decided she would try. But she said, scary, scary, she said. And then gradually she went up this thing, which was pretty scary. Even to watch it was a bit scary because quite high up, and it was like she's climbing up these ropes like a monkey. And then finally she got to the top, and then she came down this chute. And then after she'd done it once, she lost any kind of fear. And then she was just enjoying doing it 2 or 3 more times, actually. I was the one freaking out because I was afraid that, you know, actually it was a bit dangerous and she could fall down. But her fear completely left her. And then it was just fun. So this is a good lesson that when we give in to these funny little fears that come up, our life kind of closes somehow, closes down. Yeah? And when we can come through the fear, not to deny the fear, but to accept the fear, then things open up. The opposite happens, and our life opens up. It's not really complicated, you know?
Yes, yeah, it can be complicated, yeah, but
it can also be simple.
yes.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, let's see if anybody else likes to contribute. having a lively meeting tonight. Somebody else like to, maybe I should ask what's happening to Ganeshan. Would you like to come into the meeting, Ganeshan? Pedro, can you arouse him? Oh, he's coming, good, good.
Dime. Tell me.
Hello, hello.
Hola.
Good to see you. How are you going?
¿Cómo lo llevas?
Bueno, más o menos.
Well, more or less.
Yeah. So how is it being Ganeshan?
¿Cómo te sientas ser Ganesan?
Es un nombre solo.
It is only a name.
En verdad todos somos Brahman.
We all are Brahman.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Todos somos Brahman.
We all are Brahman.
Okay, good. And how is your daily life? Are you back in the kitchen now, or you?
¿Cómo es tu vida diaria? ¿Estás de vuelta en la cocina ahora?
No. Estoy todavía de baja del médico y cuando me recupere voy a pedir un año de excedencia del trabajo, sin empleo y sueldo, para no ir en un año.
Well, I'm not working now because the doctor said that I cannot work. And when the moment that I have to come back, I'm going to ask for a 1 year off without salary and without working.
Oh, that's kind of sabbatical year.
Esto va a ser un año sabático.
Yeah, good idea, good idea.
Buena idea.
Sí, porque la energía que sentí en el retiro de paz, tranquilidad, de bienestar, es la que no tengo en el trabajo. Y esa es la que tengo que tener diariamente.
Because this energy that I felt during the retreat in Spain of peace and wellness is what I don't have in my work. So, this is what I want in my life.
Right, right. I mean, I think when you go to your boss and ask for a year sabbatical, he may then allow you to leave. You know, you have a contract, but maybe he can also encourage that you just agree to finish the contract before you know, for the next year or two. I think you have, yeah. Maybe you can finish the whole thing now.
Sí, quizá lo que puedes hacer cuando hables con tu jefe para pedirle el año sabático es llegar a un acuerdo para acabar con el contrato ahora.
Sí, pero quiero esperar un año para que otra vez me vuelva a meter en el trabajo, porque quedarían 3 meses solo si se cierra o no la empresa. Entonces cobraría el finiquito. Por eso pido un año de excedencia.
Yes, after 1 year off without working, it will remain still 3 months of work. And then after these 3 months, then I could get my money.
Yeah, yeah. But I think you'll find it hard to go back to work after a year not working.
Y creo que lo vas a encontrar muy difícil volver a trabajar después de un año sin haber trabajado.
Pero si solo quedan 3 meses de trabajo, pues entraría solo para cobrar el finiquito. Y si no se cierra el trabajo, pues lo dejaría completo ya.
Well, it will be only 3 months of working, and then I will get the money if the contract finishes. If not, I would quit the job.
Right, right. I mean, when I was, I think, 26 years old, I quit my job, and I never worked for anybody, any company. I never worked again for 50 years.
Cuando tenía 26 años dejé mi trabajo y nunca he vuelto a trabajar para nadie más durante 50 años.
So I've been out of work for 50 years.
Así que he estado sin trabajar durante 50 años.
But I work bloody hard every day.
Pero trabajo muy duramente cada día.
Yeah.
I'm a kind of slave driver, and I'm also the slave.
Soy como un conductor esclavo y sigo siendo un esclavo.
Pero libre, esclavo pero libre.
But you are free, a slave but free.
Right. Yeah, I'm a free slave, no chains anymore.
Soy un esclavo libre, sin cadenas más, sin más cadenas.
Right. Okay, well, welcome. If you want to come and join us, if you get your year off, come and join us, come and live with us.
Bueno, pues estás bienvenido, que si te tomas el año sabático, pues te vengas con nosotros.
And
Sí.
don't forget to bring your translator with you.
Y no te olvides de traerte tu traductor contigo.
Probably
Así lo convence.
This is the only way we can get Pedro involved in the community when he comes as your translator.
Es la única manera de poder traer a Pedro a la comunidad, convertirlo en tu traductor.
Sí, y a eso lo convenzco para Alemania. Ojalá.
I am trying to convince him to come to Germany.
Right. If you can convince Pedro, you're definitely self-realized.
Si puedes convencer a Pedro, estás definitivamente realizado.
He's a very tough character.
Es un personaje muy duro.
La verdad que sí.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye.
Gracias.
Voy a decir adiós.
So nice to have this meeting, and we have another one, I think in about 10 days' time, on a Thursday night. So I'm going to make a meeting every week, either on Tuesday or Thursday. So I think the next one is on the 7th of October. Is that right, Om?
Yes.
Great. Nice hat he's got, yeah? Okay, good night. Thank you.
Goodbye.